Good morning, everyone. How are you today? How did you start your day today? This morning, I've actually got so much accomplished already. I was up around 4:30 this morning, and we had a funky skunk smell in our backyard, so I was a little worried about letting my dogs out. And I think there is a skunk or a skunk family living under my shed. So I'm going to be dealing with that today, but I actually got the lawn cut. I got so much accomplished, and um, I'm finding that I have more energy now. So it's like, what do I want to do on my to-do list next? Just feeling really motivated, really inspired today. Good morning, Carrie. How are you today? So today's cards are some motivational, inspirational, and then some of the work we need to do. One of the things, oh, and I forgot to shut my notifications off. Good morning, Margaret. How are you? And thank you guys for sharing your dog pics. It's National Rescue Dog Day, and the pictures are so cute of your dogs. Ours we've had for several years. The oldest one, the biggest one in my picture is Rocket, and we adopted Rocket almost 10 years ago, and he's now almost totally blind. He's diabetic, hasn't been doing well the last year and a half, but we've been managing to keep everything stable with him, and he's still getting a lot of enjoyment out of life. So we're just watching him and enjoying him day by day. The other two, Ruby we've had, she's the little black one. We've had her for, it'll be a year next week. And she is a rescue dog from Korea. So she's never lived in a house before. So she still has accidents sometimes, but we're working on house training her. And Rusty, the little brown one, we're his fourth family. And when we adopted him, he was really high risk for being aggressive and biting. So we hired a trainer, and we've really worked with him. We've all gotten bit, but he hasn't bit anyone in almost 6 years now, and he's doing really well. Just finding that calmness. He's actually my dog that loves Reiki. He loves my crystals, and I use them on him and my essential oils to keep him calm and to help him with whatever fear it is he's facing. So today's cards are about, the biggest topic on here is about forgiveness. So are any of you struggling with forgiveness? And this is about forgiving yourself, forgiving others, whatever it is that you're working on or struggling with right now. So my butterfly card this morning is forgiveness. The angel therapy card this morning says, be willing to forgive. The message on it says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. And that's the one thing that's really important about forgiveness. Not everyone in our mind or in our perspective is entitled to be forgiven for whatever it is they have done to us. But we don't want to hold on to that pain. We don't want to hold on to that hurt. So it's important to practice forgiveness for our own peace and our own well-being. We don't want to hold on to that. So it's not like we need to forgive them and apologize to them. It's a practice we put in place for ourselves, and allowing that forgiveness. And it might mean that we still need to set boundaries with that person and not allow them into our life, but we need to take ownership for our response and not be the victim. So it's so important to work on that forgiveness. And that's one of the things that I've actually gone with my struggles, with pain I've worked through, and had a few sessions with a psychotherapist to work on those feelings that I was having and being able to release and allowing that forgiveness. My biggest challenge, and this was part of the sessions I had with a psychotherapist, was about my relationship with my mother. My mother struggled with her mental health, and she struggled with addiction. And so for me to be able to move forward and not hold on to anger and resentment to her, and she had already passed in our life, our relationship, I loved her to death. She loved me. Good morning, Amanda. but our relationship wasn't what I wanted it to be. So working on forgiveness really helped me to release some of the things that I was holding on to. It also helped me to understand her perspective on things and the things she was dealing with, because she never ever acted out of ill intent towards me, but it was her struggle with herself that caused her to behave and react the way she did to things, which is also one of the reasons I'm so passionate about helping people. I was able to overcome all of this and work through and find that joy and happiness in my life where she couldn't. So I don't ever want to see anyone struggle the way she did. So this is part of my mission in helping people. The Love Yourself card this morning is also about forgiveness. I affirm that I am totally willing to freely forgive everyone. And that's a tough one for some of us. I'm going to read the message. I release from within me all bitterness and resentment. I let go of old hurts and forgive everyone, including myself. So if you look at this message, it's really about us and healing ourselves. It has nothing to do with the person that we are forgiving, because we're not going to forget what happened, but we need to work through the forgiveness so we're not holding on to the emotions, because they don't serve a purpose for us other than to hold on to anger and hold on to pain. And when we look at the law of attraction, when we're holding on to that stuff, we're just going to attract more of it into our life, which is where the Goddess card comes in this morning. The Goddess card is about patterns. And I've actually never pulled this card before, and I've had this deck probably for almost a year, and I use it every day. It's really important for us to recognize when there's patterns in our life. So if we're seeing a shit show in our life all the time and we're struggling, okay, there's a pattern there somewhere. Where is it coming from? What is it we need to release or work on so that we're attracting what we want? Because we all have intentions and we all have dreams and goals and visions of what we want to bring into our life. So when it's not coming, we need to really look at that and see where it is our thoughts or and even our subconscious thoughts. We're not always aware of them, but they're there. And that's where we bury a lot of our stuff that we don't even realize we're holding on to. The next card that comes up is about effort. So this is from my numerology deck this morning, and it's my favorite number, number 13. Putting the effort into ourselves. So many people, and I see this happen all the time, and even with clients that are coming to me, they're looking externally for their answers. They're looking externally to feel good, to find that happiness, to find that joy, to find that love, when we really need to find it within ourselves first. And we really need to put that effort into ourselves. Thank you, Treva. So it's so important for us to go within and find that love for ourselves, find that happiness, find that joy, let go of the stuff that no longer serves a purpose in our life, and grow from there. Once we do that, we're going to attract all of that goodness into our life. And we're not going to struggle the same way we did. Our perception will change on what comes to us. So this is all a process of learning as well as teaching. So everyone we meet has something to either learn or teach us. So I find with relationships and experiences, people are showing up to say, hey, here's this pattern. You wanted to learn it. You wanted to overcome it in this lifetime. So here's another chance for you. And then we get upset with the person, but all they're doing is showing up to help us. And being able to get our mindset to look at things from that perspective it's a lot of work. We get stuck in old habits and beliefs and patterns, but I've been able to see how those things show up in my life and how I can look at that as an opportunity to break a pattern, to get rid of a belief that I have and grow from there. And once that happens, that relationship shifts and it changes. The lesson is done, so that person isn't showing up for us anymore in the same way. And to me, I really notice it in my closest relationships. So now we're going to go on to some of the motivational cards this morning. So from my Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck, we have Notice the Blessings. So this is all about gratitude. Gratitude puts us in a position of having instead of wanting, thanking rather than complaining. When we focus on what we already have and take stock in our blessings, we get more blessings. What are you grateful for? Share it with yourself and others. Gratitude is one of the things I practice daily, and I also teach it in my mindfulness program that I run, as well as talking to clients about it. It's so important to have a self-care routine that includes gratitude. Gratitude really helps us to shift our perspective, our mindset. It helps us to attract the things we want in our life. Next is the Universe card. So this is from my Well-Being deck this morning, and it says the universe is big enough to fulfill my every intent. The Universal Manager has the ability to bring everyone a vibrational match to what they are giving their attention to, without depriving anyone else of what they are wanting, showing that there is enough abundance for all of us in the universe. We just have to get our energy aligned with what it is we want in life, and then we will start receiving that flow. So we have angel cards left, and I have one more Crazy Sexy Love Notes card. So the Crazy Sexy Love Notes card is about making waves. So it's your turn to make a splash and rock a few creaky boats. Don't be afraid to get wet. You may fail, you may look foolish, or you may make people think in a new way. Every great trailblazer and change maker made waves. You're no different. Oh, thank you, Margaret. I'm grateful for you too. So this is all about stepping out of our comfort zone. And it's something that, for me, doing lives, I'm doing at least 5 lives a week right now. I do not like being in front of the camera, but I'm getting comments from people about how I'm helping them, how the cards are inspiring them every day. So it's all about supporting and empowering each other for growth. So I'm pushing myself, I'm making those waves, I'm making those ripples, and I'm seeing changes happen. I'm seeing people really get in touch with themselves, work on their intuition, and grow. And to me, that's a huge accomplishment. It makes me really happy and proud of each and every one of you to see that you're doing the work and you're going to get the results. The Archangel cards this morning, and Archangel Raphael has come up. So he's the angel of healing. And with Archangel Raphael, he can really help us with forgiveness as well. The message on the card says, the healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. So if you're struggling with forgiveness, ask him for help. He's there to help us with healing. So, and the healing from Archangel Raphael can be on multiple levels. So it can be spiritual healing, mental, emotional healing, or physical healing. They all relate to each other, and when one is out of balance, the other is also out of balance. One of the things I've learned as a holistic practitioner, I deal with a bunch of different healing energies, is that when we have our energy field, which is just outside of our body, and when we're struggling with things, we're feeling it energetically there. And when we continue to ignore it, it starts to manifest as symptoms in our physical body. So they all are related. And I find a lot of people that hold on to things. I'll give you an example. A lot of times when I'm doing a reading with clients, I'm feeling a lot of heaviness in my chest area, so the lungs, heart area. And when I feel that, they're actually physically feeling those symptoms. And we talk about what grief they're holding on to, what loss they've had in their lives. And they can relate to that. And once they start working through that, that physical pain goes away and their symptoms start to improve. And there's so many other natural remedies we can do. But I really like to look at the emotional and physical together to see exactly where that pain is coming from. Because a lot of times it's not just a physical illness. There's emotions behind that pain that when you work through them, the physical symptoms will disappear. It's just like somebody who has anxiety. When I'm feeling anxious, I feel my heart racing, I feel pain. But the minute I can calm myself down and be present, it all starts to go away. So finding those things that work for us. The last card is also from the Angel Therapy deck this morning, and this is the God Box card. So I'll read the message for you. Write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a God Box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. And this is a great card to come up this week. When we're working on our intentions and setting those intentions, we have the new moon. I believe it's on Friday this week. And the new moon energy really helps us to manifest things into our lives. So spending some time this week writing down the intentions that we have and the things we want to bring into our life is so important. When they talk about a God box, I actually have a box. Actually, let me see if I can find it. I have a couple. And I do this in workshops with Amanda as well. So I just bought this wicker box at the dollar store. And I think it was $2. I decorated it. And I have notes in it for things I'm grateful for. So this is my gratitude box. And I put notes in. And on a day that maybe I'm struggling with some things and not feeling grateful, I can go back and look through those notes. I have another box. This was a project I did with my family. My grandchildren really loved it. We bought some little wooden boxes at the dollar store. I think they were a couple bucks. Got some paints. And we spent a couple days making these. And then we wrote our intentions. So our big dreams, our goals on sheets of paper. So it's kind of like a vision board, but it's in a box. And then all the notes are in the box. And I will go through and open them every once in a while when I'm needing some inspiration or just having a day where, I need something to pick me up. And then I have all these wonderful notes. There's so many things you can do with these. You can have a box full of things you want to release and put them in there. If I were to do that, I would probably do it over a monthly period and then on the full moon go outside and burn them under the moonlight. Or you can put them in there and then go back and reflect on them at the end of the year and look at how many things you have worked through, how many things you have overcome. There's so many things we can do to inspire ourselves. And the great part about making the boxes is it also gets you creative. So when you're being creative, you're actually shutting down your left brain, your overthinking mind, and opening up that channel to connect with yourself and your higher self. So I'm going to leave that with you for today, and I will be back tomorrow with your cards for then. Have an inspiring day, and I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you.